Back again, yet again, huh? Hi, friends. How's everybody going? So, I want to talk about the healing journey. It's not a subject that's easy to talk about sometimes, but it's like a part of this work that we have to do that is so important and so powerful, so transformative when we begin this alchemical process of basically understanding these parts of us, what their purpose was, what they were there to teach us. Did we learn the lesson? Has it made us a better person? If you can answer yes to all of the above, you're going to be more than ready for whatever comes your way. Just know that. But I want to talk about how sometimes there are things that happen during our childhood that we may not have ever been aware of. And these things may be the cause of a lot of your issues and a lot of your problems. And until you really truly find what was the root cause of what was making you be a certain way, emotionally react a certain way to certain things. And this is some deep talk here, guys. And I mean this. And I am very, very serious about this. We may have, you know, this is, it's just complicated. You know, sometimes you may look back in your childhood and think you had the perfect upbringing, the best life possible when you were a kid. You had a happy family, a bunch of siblings. You had a mother, you had a father, you had everything. You were loved. There's all this stuff going on. I'm going to talk about something that's very personal to me and that only recently I realized and found out about it. And it came to me after I had done a lot of other healing in other aspects of myself. But these one, I am absolutely certain now that this one was the reason why I have always, up until not that long ago, I was always overgiving in every aspect of my life. Always overgiving, but never getting what I was giving in return. So I'm gonna let you in a little, you know, once upon a time aspect of my life that now that I look back, I was having this conversation with my mother not that long ago, and I really want to talk to her about this again to see what she thinks about this. I just want to get her perspective on it to see what she thinks about it. I know now, without a question, Oh, my coffee is ready. Cool. But I'm not drinking out of the cup today. it's I already had my second cup. That's for tomorrow morning. So, okay, back to my childhood. I had these two people in my life when I was very young. So, I lived with my family on this street, right? This house on this street. And they lived on the same street on an apartment down the street at the bottom of the street. I was like uphill in the middle of the street. That's where we lived. And they were my grandmother on my father's side and her sister. They lived together in an apartment down the street. All right. Let's see if I can get this out. So, we were always going up there. Mostly myself and a sibling of mine. Okay, and they we had a couple of cousins. They were they were my cousins on my father's side from an aunt that I had. I still have. Matter of fact, she lives here in the U.S. I think she's in Florida. I never talked to them though. That's a whole nother thing. Um, not for nothing really. It's just I have nothing in common with them, so I have no reason to talk to them about it. So it's all good, no hard feelings or anything. I have nothing against them at all, but they got their life, I got mine. Again, like I said, we have nothing in common. So if I was to talk to them at all, I don't even know what I would have to talk about it because my life is so much different today than it was when I was young. It's there's no. It's a whole nother thing. My life is completely different now. I am a different person. They wouldn't even understand me. They'd be like, "Who the hell is this guy?" So, all right. So I had my grandmother on my father's side and her sister, and then I had these two cousins, okay, and they have always treated my cousins differently, like special treatment across the board. I don't know how to explain this. It's hard to explain it. Um, but as a child, I knew, and that didn't feel good at all. But when you're a kid, you don't really quite think about these things. The stuff is just happening, and you're just there, living it and witnessing, and you don't think about it. But I'm going to tell you something. All that crap goes into your subconscious, and it stays there, deeply rooted. And you may go on throughout your whole life not remembering these things, but your subconscious never forgets. And then there will be things that will happen in your life that you will react upon it based on these things that are deeply embedded in your subconscious. What I'm saying here, guys, is this is very serious. And I don't know how many of you that are watching this or that will be coming upon this will have had some sort of a similar experience. But if you did, I'm here to tell you, You really have to go back to that. You have to understand that. And you have to you have to tell yourself that none of that stuff that happened, however it happened, that was not your fault. You were just a child. You don't have to be asking yourself why someone in your life was giving someone in your own family special treatment compared to you when you were all just kids. Who knows? I don't give a damn at this point. I understand now. But I will tell you, I carry this stuff with me most of my life. And I know now when I look back at certain things that happen in my life, that a lot of this stuff that happened and a lot of this deep trauma that I had that I didn't even know about it until not that long ago, that was just sitting there marinating this whole time. And when certain things happen in my life, it would just trigger this. And it would make me feel horrible, worthless, and all these things. When you're healing, when you're going through your own process of self-healing, doing shadow work, whatever the heck you want to call it, okay? It's healing. You can call it anything, but it's healing. You're doing your healing. You're self-healing. There are things that you absolutely have to heal, because if you don't, you're not going to grow. It doesn't matter how much healing you do. There are certain types of trauma that they are so powerful and they are so strong that they have the capability of literally ruin your life. It will ruin your life because you still have that within you and you haven't figured out a way to expunge that. Like, you have to let go of that stuff. You have to let go. You have to purge that stuff completely out of your system. I don't care what you have to do, how you have to do it. You have to figure that out. Really. I've talked about this in videos of mine, past ones, that go back quite a bit, about how, for me personally, I used a lot of music for my personal healing. It was almost all music. And then there were other things too, but music was a huge aspect of my healing. And when I'm talking about music, I'm not talking about all this crap that everybody listens to, okay? I'm talking about, Malin, Clara Sophia, and things like that. There are people on this earth that they are literally like earth angels. People who came here to live a human life so that they can give their gift to other people, to allow them to heal from things like this. And to me personally, music is powerful. The power of music for me, and I'm not saying that that's gonna happen to you. That's what happened to me, okay? So figure out what it is that, it's gonna be the best way for you to like bring these feelings to the surface and then deal with them, face them. And if you have to sit there and cry for half an hour, you have to allow yourself to do that. Because if you don't do that, you're never gonna heal. You must think it's ironic to see a grown man here talking about things like this, but I'm telling you, I don't care if you're a guy, if you're a girl, okay? This trauma stuff, these are the heaviest burdens that we carry in our lives, and they can literally like make your life journey an extremely unpleasant experience that you're never going to be able to get out of it until the day you deal with these things. Confront them, face them head on, bring them to the surface, analyze it, understand it, and then all you have to do is forgive those who did this to you, and then after that, forgive yourself, because you should have never thought for a moment in your life that any of that stuff that happened to you, however it happened, however deep it hurt you, and when you're a kid, and you're being treated this way by someone like a family member, someone who's supposed to love you no matter what, that does a lot of damage, guys. That does a lot of damage. That kind of stuff is gonna make you feel, unworthy. It's gonna make you doubt yourself all the time. It's gonna make you not believe in yourself. It's gonna do so much bad stuff to you. It's you can't even fathom. Or maybe you can if you've been through it. And if you do, and you came out of it like I did, I am here to salute you. And I am here to remind you how powerful and how strong of a person you are, that you were able to overcome all of this and come out on top. After all these years, after all this time. Yeah. You know how much strength you had to have to be able to deal with this your whole life and finally realize that that had nothing to do with you. That had nothing to do with you. That was not your fault at all. Whatever was going through those people, why it, here's the thing. Karmic situations. Don't try to figure it out. It had to happen. It had to happen. That's how I look at it. And now that you understood why that happened and you're healed from it, this is the other thing. When you heal from something like that, that becomes like your superpower. So that's why there are some of us that are so much further ahead than others in your growth and your development, spiritually speaking. Because when you're able to overcome things of that nature, you become a shining beacon of light that can be seen from miles away from those who can see that kind of thing. It's powerful, guys. It's powerful. It's very powerful. So yeah, I was treated. The best way to put it, without making a drama out of it, because I don't even want to talk about it at this point. It's the past. I don't care about it anymore. I'm done with it. I walked away from it and I'm healed from it. But what I'm saying is, I had these two people in my life. It was my grandmother on my father's side and her sister. They're both dead now. Okay? They passed away a long time ago. And they've always treated me and some of my siblings differently than the cousins that I had, the two cousins. they were treated like royalty. We were treated like we were the people who lived in the slum. That's the best way to put it. I don't know how to explain it. And when you're a child and somebody that's your own family, you know, close family at that, is treating you that way, and they probably, maybe they didn't even notice. Maybe it was a subconscious thing out of the own trauma that they had to from somebody else. Generational trauma, generational karmic shit. Who knows? That's how that stuff works sometimes. And then sometimes it goes to several generations until someone has to break that cycle. And if that happened to me, that happened to be me personally, I'm glad I did. That's not a fun thing, guys. It's not a fun thing. But once you come out of it and you heal, you know, it's I can't even begin to explain how good it feels. It's that kind of stuff. That's that kind of stuff. When you hear from that kind of thing, it's like compared to another person that wouldn't have to deal with something like that, it's like years worth of spiritual growth in an instant like that. It's crazy. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I'm not I'm not making this stuff up. So that's what I wanted to talk about. You know, self-healing is the most powerful thing that anyone can do to themselves. And some of us are gonna have some really deep rooted trauma crap to deal with it. And you know, if you haven't dealt with that yet, you better go back to that drawing board and rethink your own spiritual development strategy, because you're not looking at where you really should be looking at. That's the kind of stuff you should be going for first and foremost before anything else, because that's the kind of stuff that it's gonna make it or break it for you. And once you understand that and you have dealt with it, you're gonna feel so good about it, and you're gonna be so proud of yourself. Not only are you gonna feel proud of yourself, but you're gonna increase the power of the self-love that you have like tenfold. You thought you loved yourself before? Wait until you heal from something like this. Then you really know what self-love really is. If I did it, you can do it too. We all have the same power. We all have the same light. We all carry that divine spark within ourselves. That's what that's there for. To help us get through situations like this in our lives. And once you learn from something like that, you're going to carry that lesson throughout multiple lives. It's going to be the cleansing energy that you will gain from that. It's like it's on a whole nother level. And once you regain that, you can't lose it. You will embody that stuff. That will become a part of you. That is going to give you so much more wisdom and knowledge on all aspects of your life. Yeah, I'm telling you. If you have anything like that, look at it deeply. Find it. Pluck it from the roots. And then you won't even recognize yourself afterward. I promise you that. I'm done. I love you all with all my heart and all my soul. Have a great day. I'll catch you on the next one.